This challenge may actually make me lose my mind, okay? I'm your boy Squints. I'm losing brain cells. I'm losing my sanity. And this is episode number 3 of Zero to Hero. It's week 7 and we're starting the week off with the Great Vault. You might hate it, I might love it, I don't know, but we pulled a myth track chest piece out of it that we ended up turning into some tiers. So I took my Brackenhide 12 and I sent it in to try and get that bad boy timed in a tyrannical week, and gosh, you know that may just be a nightmare with some of the groups that you've done it with. Well, I was the nightmare person as I was getting warmed up in this initial key, and I really enjoy playing this spec. It's a lot of fun. I'm getting better with the cooldown management, but I'm still making mistakes here and there with managing the cooldowns and using my abilities together at the correct times. But overall, I'm enjoying playing the spec. But as you can see here, I was the hard anchor to this team, making sure we didn't destroy those totems, making sure that we bricked the key. I will take fault. We had a lot of deaths, but we move on into the Algathar 11. And here I am freaking pumping. I'm feeling like the goddamn king. I'm at the top of the castle right now, baby. This dungeon is my fave on this character. I got the cooldowns down. We're gonna pump it on out here and keep on slaying. But as soon as these little ads come out, things go to shambles. The healer dies. We keep on going. We're trying to get the boss down. I want to make sure we get this boss down because I need every little piece of rating that I can get. Like everything. I really need rating. I just want it. But bam, lost the shaman. Not looking good. Now we have no additional spot healing with those healing surges. The shaman comes back up to try and help get things done here. But don't worry, the priest goes down, the shaman goes down, I'm living, I go down, top of the chart, don't forget, DH dies, guess what, everybody leaves. Of course I decide to run it on back, get a new group, send my plus 10 AA, and well, this time the healer was the problem. The healer just could not keep up with the damage on any of these boss fights. We go down on the first boss, we get deaths on the second boss, and then maybe there's a small opportunity where we could time this thing, but Veximus hard screws on us too. We wipe on the third boss, and then on the way to the final boss, we wipe to trash, and the key's just so bricked at this point, and I'm just so annoyed. I'm starting this week off basically 0-3, losing to the bug groups over and over. At least everyone stuck around though. We ended up just finishing the key for, I don't know, no IO. What's new? Not much, Chuck. What the hell? And we had a whopping 34 deaths. We ended up getting a Ruby Life Pools plus 9, and honestly, I'm at least figuring out single target damage. It is a lot better than it's been in the previous week, so I felt pretty dang good about that on the first boss, and thank the Lord, we did actually time this plus 9, because I might have gone crazy if I bricked another key this week. Then that turned into an Ula 10, ended up running that, timed it as well. My overall damage was not great, but I'm getting rating, and that's honestly all I care about at this point. I just want to finish the dang challenge. That's the most stressful part about playing this spec.
Shut up, bitch!
But in classic fashion, that turns into 11 Ruby Life Pools. And of course, I find a tank that is completely psychotic with his pulls. So, you know what we did? We bricked it! So we sent it into the Ruby Life Pools 10. And I am not okay. Guys, I'm not fine. Like, please make sure you like and subscribe to this dang video and channel in this series, because I might actually lose my mind doing this. Because just take a second. What do you think happened in this Ruby Life Pools 10? I'll cut to the chase. We bricked it. We bricked it. We bricked it. Tank left. He was done with it. He was over it because we pulled the dang fire dragon somehow. And I just couldn't take it anymore. I just couldn't. So I plugged myself into a Nelth plus 8 so I could get some dang rating. I was pumping on the first pull, and thankfully we came through and we timed the dang dungeon and I got some rating, because at this point in the week I was already mentally exhausted from playing the class and just dealing with the lackluster healers. I'm sorry, healers, but I had to figure it out last season. Figure it out. We're 7 weeks into this. 7 weeks. And then I plugged into an HOI, and of course, Hermit the damn frog, just the pug killer of the season, apparently, because no one can figure out how to deal with his children. And then I do an AA plus 10. We timed it, but what the hell was up with this Brewmaster tank? Topping the damn charts. It should have been mine. But in all honesty, well played, dude. That was honestly impressive. He said he was gonna pump, and the man sure did deliver. And then we had a wacky finish to this HOI. I died a ton, but at least we killed the boss. I probably would have gone crazy if we died right there, but we timed it. No big deal. Got 12 rating. Love to see it. But I wanted to end the week on the Ulda plus 11 that I had, so I got a group together. Once we got in the dungeon, Agitate actually realized that he just watched my first YouTube video. He was like, "What's up? It was fun. It was cool. Don't worry. This is gonna be fine," but they didn't know what they were getting into during this week. Well, they caught me when I was being extra greedy and died to Bromok, but we got it down. Classic me, no big deal, and ended up heading into the Lost Vikings, where I just got hit by the frontal cleave like a damn goober. Luckily, they casted the B-res this time. I took the B-res, and we continue on throughout the boss, and then here I sidestep all the time while I'm playing melee. It's just my habit, and we're moving the boss for some reason, where I end up getting the frontal cleave again like a
freaking idiot.
And yeah, I'm just mad at this point. But we go to the third boss, and yeah, we wiped. We didn't make it past the third boss, so we ended up deciding to call it. And yeah, well, you guys made it on YouTube. Starting week 8 off though with a full vault, all mythic track items, and we are going to take the legs so we can transfer those into tier. And I decided to go in this week with some big old cojones. So we sent Fortified, No Coot 11 key, and guess what? We ended up timing it, but we missed some trash after the final boss. So that's why we're killing it right there. But we did indeed time it. It was a warm-up key, so that's my excuse for doing under 300k. And I could not tell you what is going on this episode, but first boss of AA must be the hardest boss in the game. I did not know he was such a pug killer, but hey, DPS getting hit by swirlies, getting hit by the little viny guys coming out because they can't hold their DPS and they gotta pad as hard as they can, of course, leads to my first brick. Wind it back, and we end up running the plus 11 next. I end up pugging the worst DK tank I've ever played with, who can't even clear the trash in the first room without dying. So, of course, everybody starts leaving, and we are ended off with another brick for the week. So we end up heading into the plus 10, and although we do complete it, we do indeed brick it. And I get a Brackenhide 9, no rating, and a key that I also don't need for rating. For this Brackenhide, I said, what the heck, let me try out the simple version of this build, where I'm not worrying about using Vanish to reset my cooldowns, and I just become a 2-minute cooldown class. And hey, it honestly worked out pretty well. I had a lot of fun. I do swap back because I'm a jabroni and I want to be serious and learn the hard version of the class, but I did end up doing the best damage I've ever done. Unfortunately though, we got a no Q 10, which we did not need. Blizzard, please. And then you give me a pug. Oh, this pug, he made me so sad. We could at least time this key to get me an 11, where I would have been in the range to get more rating. And then the tank just charges my blind target. We don't have enough kicks. No one's kicking. No one's interrupting. No one's helping us out. We end up wiping on the boss on the intermission phase, bricking the key, and then I end up just finding a pug group so I can swap my key because I didn't need that key either, and end up just clearing a Ruby Life Pool 9 and get Halls of Effusion, which of course I love Halls of Effusion. But at least I end up timing the key, and of course Blizzard gives me a Brackenhide 10, another key that I don't need for rating. I'm getting no rating this week. I have literally, up to this clear of this Brackenhide 10, gotten 34 rating. And then of course, why wouldn't Blizzard test my damn sanity and give me an HOI 11? And I end up hugging a priest and mage duo from Azeron. I don't know why I keep doing this to myself. And the freaking priest doesn't mention the mage is a damn dude does no damage. He's absolutely useless. So useless we wipe on trash after the first boss and brick the damn key.
You go. Yep. What the hell was that?
It's the keys. I threw them right at you.
I asked you to toss them. You threw them overhand.
That's the way I throw.
And then, of course, I send the plus 10. We end up timing it, and guess how much rating I got from this plus 10, guys? 1. And then I ended up with a plus 11 Braconide, which we bricked on the first boss. And then I don't even know how to explain what the heck happened here with the next group on the Braconide plus 10, but the tank was just terrible. He was just pulling like just pulls you don't do in Braconide, man. The trash in Braconide suck. And on the fourth cage, we ended up in this weird death loop, and the trash is running everywhere, and I just can't even this week.
These people.
I thought last week was bad, but it has progressively gotten worse. Does anyone know if there's an end in sight? Because your boy is going crazy. Honestly, I'm losing my damn mind doing this challenge for you guys. Actually, it's for me, because you know what? I'm going to complete it, and we're all gonna crack open a nice cold beer, because you don't pull the bear on the bridge with the freaking knoll and the hyenas and the meat toss. It's just stupid. It's stupid, okay? Don't do that, tanks. Gosh, we end up finishing the dungeon. I ended the week with 35 total rating. I swear to God on this character, I see the same items in my vault all the time, but we got the belt that we didn't take last week, so sweet. New week, new problems though, so we're wiping on the first boss of Ruby Life Pools plus 11. We end up getting the boss down, but the mage and I die a little bit, but we can still time the key, but that, makes the mage get triggered, that he keeps dying a bunch so he gets offline. I don't know if mages are out for me this season, but it damn sure feels that way. But I send the 10, end up timing it and getting some much needed IO. We ended up with a Nelth plus 11 on a Tyran week. Wasn't very confident how this was going to turn out considering how the rest of this episode is gone, but I did big damage on the first few AoE pulls. We ended up downing the chain boss, which is the hard stop in this dungeon for sure, and we were only 3 seconds off from plus 2ing it, which was hog as hell, and we got a crazy wacky tentacle avoidance trinket, which I don't need, but it was just a cool freaking drop, so I thought you guys might want to see it. Nothing like a real good gut punch from Halls of Infusion on the frog boss with the pug group, with the warlock that can't help but just run away with the frogs chasing him, not bring him through the boss, and of course die to the poison. Someone gets belly slammed on, everybody dies, we wipe, and of course, the person that kind of spirals it out of control is the first person to leave, because they're not the problem, okay? Really do some self-reflection though. Talking to you, Glee. But we send it into the plus 11 halls and end up timing it. My damage is not great. My play was kind of meh there. I'm understanding where I'm making mistakes, and it's just learning the timings of my cooldowns and when I should be using them in the dungeons and figuring out what size pool we're actually going to get with these tanks. Then we ended up with the Ruby Life Pools 12, which had the weirdest route strat. We wiped on the first boss, and then instead of coming up and going left, we went up and went right and killed the fire dragon first, and then the tank was like, yo, we're going to do this crazy pool where we're going to pull the lightning dragon. All the trash that you would then do is the second pool. I'm gonna just wipe the entire group, and of course that's going to make everybody leave and break the key.
Just stop. Just stop it. Stop. No. Just stop it.
Now, I don't want to relive every terrible moment, so I'm just going to cut to it. We bricked that key all the way down to a 9 through multiple pug groups, and then we end up down in last boss, and I've never seen this where we were 0.15% off of having full percent to clear, but we went and killed a mob and still timed the dungeon. Luckily, that was a plus 2, so I was able to send it into a Braconide 11, where we end up timing it, but we were just all over the place with the withering and the final boss and the totem. Some went off, but I got to give a shout out to the healer. He came in clutch, and as you know, throughout this episode, healers did not do so. They were actually struggling. So, shout out to this one. You did great, champ. Thanks for helping me time my key. Ended up turning into a plus 12 Uldamon, which I wasn't too excited about, but I was definitely the jabroni at the start of this one. I died to the AoE on Bromok.
This looks familiar. Vaguely familiar.
And as you can imagine, this pretty much tanked my overall damage for the rest of the dungeon, and you're probably like, well, you probably didn't time the damn dungeon at this point, Squints, but you're wrong. We timed it, we came through. Shadow Priest and Rep Pallies, OP, please nerf. Just kidding, they're fine, I don't know, I just suck, okay? Now we're in the HOI 13, and take a guess, this one ends up getting bricked, and it was the healer's fault. The healer just could not hang on the first boss. He goes down, I don't know if he used defensive or anything. We battle res him, I end up going down down, although I fainted. I just needed to be topped off. Everybody starts dialing. The tank's done. He pieces out. Bricked key. Bricked that all the way down to 11, fun fact. And then we had this 11 timed. We had it easy peasy. All we had to do was make it through the gauntlet, clear the ads, but the other two DPS decided, well, I'm gonna rush through it and die in the gauntlet. But you know, Rogue and Demon Hunter, great job on CCing all the ads very well. But yeah, as soon as we wipe because all the ads come off and we don't have enough kicks, I'm gonna leave. So I plug into an AV11, end up timing it. I'm right back to getting more rating, and it feels good after last week where I literally only got 35 rating. So I'm ready mentally to go back into HOI and slam that plus 10 key that I now had. We end up plus 2ing this dungeon in the nick of time in this crazy, wacky, the tank died, but we battle resed me. I got up, few percentage left, we killed the boss. It was all good, but it was a weird ending and a crazy way to get a plus 2. And it was pretty sick, honestly. I don't the healer really stepped up and just kind of tanked it. And hell, you know, Blizzard loves giving me the same keys. So we got Ruby Life Pools plus 12 and we end up timing it. We cruised on through, got it done. I was still screwing up my CDs in this dungeon. I need to work on the timing and when I need them up and when I don't need them up, especially on tyrannical weeks. But hey, we timed the dungeon, we got rating, feels good, man. And then this key turns into a Nel 13, which would be sick to time on a tyrannical week. Get a good group, time a Nel 13. I put together the group comp, I ready check, everybody's ready to rock and roll. Everybody's ready to go. I slam that key into the keystone and we end up hitting the timer full force going into the first pull. I'm doing the most AoE damage I've ever done. I'm popping off. I'm feeling good. I'm like, oh, we're gonna kill this. We are slaying right now. Look at me. You boys going nuts. Everything's gonna be golden. And then there's not enough AoE. There's not enough CC. There's not enough stuns to help us with all these interrupts. And I realized the hunter just AFK'd in the start. He's just completely standing still. We all end up dying. We wipe. We make it to the chain boss though, and then we just screw up and die. Someone goes down with the chains up. It's just a mess. And then after the hunter admitted to AFKing, he's the first person to leave to brick the key. Can you believe that? I can, because I'm dealing with bugs all the damn time. It's so normal. And now I really wanted a high Tyran Nelth lair key, so I end up running it again. And this time, the other DPS just don't know how to use their defensives. They die on both the all the bosses, basically. Somehow, the cleanest one they did was the chain boss, but they died on the mammoth from just not using CDs or defensives. And then we make it to the third boss, and well, we literally start the fight to them just instantly getting one shot, basically from half health. Like, they needed some healing, but they should have used a damn defensive. And yeah, that was the final straw for us. We weren't timing it. The key was bricked. And that's how I end up ending week 9. But over the course of these few weeks, we made immense progress. We're all the way up to item level 521. We ended up getting the wedding ring from one of those BH runs. We ended up getting another bullion dagger. Our rating is now 2846 after a total of 74 runs. Really got to push through. We only need a little more than 150 rating to finish this challenge. I really want to get it done at this point. But we had a very, very solid week 9 that really helped recover from that week 8 deficit. Now, if I just don't lose my sanity over the next few weeks trying to finish up this challenge, we can move on and start prepping for the war within and head into the beta and start having some fun. And if you're still here, make sure you punch that like button, kiss that subscribe button, and tickle my bell so you can stay up to date with everything we got coming out on the channel, and you're not going to want to miss the season finale of Zero to Hero Season 2. We are also going to dive into the war within beta right once we complete this challenge and see what is going on. And as always, everybody, thanks so much, and I'll see you guys next time.